Good afternoon. I want to open up the Brunswick Commission work session for April the 2nd, 5 p.m. We have presentations from Mr. Alverson.
All right. We will start with these first few items. All are related to the south end of Lanier Boulevard, that drainage in around Street, Glen Middle School, and Fourth Avenue. So, for these, or all of these projects are sort of spin-off, what we call the IFWIF project, and that's a project that we started down there. We're working with Georgia DNR Coastal Resources Division and went after a grant from the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation for several tasks: tidal on Prince Street, drainage improvements at Habersham Park, of Lanier Boulevard, pipe connectivity under Fourth Avenue, work along the MLK ditch, and some also included some improvements on the Glen Middle School property. We received this part of the funding from NIFWIF, the initial design. Second part was supposed to be completion of the design and permitting. And that phase was not funded. So when that deal kind of broke these apart and started looking for other funding sources. So that's how we get to where we are on this. This first one is the Prince Street Tax Roll project. Like I mentioned, we're working with Coastal Resources Division on this, and it's kind of, if didn't come through, they offered some other thing for us. This is actually what they're calling the BL funding, infrastructure funding, but this is funding that we have received through NOAA, the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration. That are offering, Coastal Resources offering to give the city $70,000 of this BIL funding toward the for the design and permitting of two tide control structures on Prince Street, or there at Prince Street and Air Boulevard, and another one at Prince Street and about Bartow. Those will be intended to keep the tide water from shooting back into the storm system and causing street, roadway, and property flooding. It would also include some infiltration basins along Prince Street in the right-of-way. So, this item would be for the funding agreement with Resources Division between the city for us to accept the $70,000 for the Prince Street tide control drainage. There's no local match required for this funding. So. The next item will be the basically same project, Prince Street Tide Control Project. And this will be a design permitting agreement with Goodwin Mills Kaywood. They, of course, one of our pre-qualified engineering firms, and they've been involved from the beginning in this basin project, this SWIFT project. So, so they're familiar with the in and outs of that drainage and that area down there. So, they have given us a proposal for the design and permitting, completing the design, and then the permit applications, following up on that, CPA permit through Georgia DNR, and any Corps of Engineers or other permitting that may be necessary for the installation, construction of those drainage improvements as well. So, That agreement is in the amount also of $60,000, and it would be paid with the $70,000 from the agreement. Just the timeframe, for the design would not be, um, long. And I think go ahead and get the permit application out probably, um, what would you say, 6 months maybe on the design and permit application. Then, once we get it submitted to DNR and permit review from these agencies, it's hard to put a time frame on that. But we can get it in front of them, I think, within. Typically, that's a 6 to 9 month process with them, sometimes longer. Okay. Next one, same drainage basin, similar project. This is, funding agreement again with DNR. And this is sort of a continuation of that project. Like I mentioned, the NIFWF project was kind of south of street and that area, around Glen Middle. The, Coastal Resources Division also offered some funding that they have received through the BRIC program, Building Resilient Infrastructure and Community program, which I believe is a FEMA-based funding source. But they have offered us $65,000 there to perform a similar study and conceptual design moving further up the Boulevard to the north. Of course, all of here is sort of a flooding hotspot, if you will. But this particular project would start to analyze and assess the Howard Coffin Park, North Lanier, Windsor Park basin. They go in and do some surveying, assessment of the existing conditions, modeling of that conditions, looking for pinch point or flooding, probable flood issues and causes of flooding, analysis of that, some recommendations as to what can be done to relieve that potential thing, and then conceptual design of those recommendations. So they are offering their $60,000 to us from Coastal Resources. And that one does require a local match of $12,600. We have cash available in our storm drainage fund to pay that match, but we can also use a lot of in-kind funding from our salaries. I believe some of the preliminary work that is already done kind of in that area will be acceptable to them as part of our in-kind match as well. So that we would not have to, certainly not have to pay all of that $12,600 out of the, in a cash. Most of it could come from in kind. Yes, ma'am, roughly. Yes, ma'am, splash 22. Then number 4 is same again, Windsor Park, Howard Coffin, Lanier drainage assessment. This is the actual agreement with Goodwills and Kaywood for that work. Again, analysis, survey existing conditions, analysis, of the areas, problem areas, modeling, potential improvements or recommended improvements, and can sort of design those improvements. The cost of that is $65,000 of the agreement. Hopefully, ideally, we will be able to get all of that with the 65,000 that we would receive from CRD and our in-kind salaries and in-kind funding, in-kind match, to make our 15% match. I think there'll definitely be some improvements there for sure. Okay. And then item number five is again in that same basis as the last of these items. In that basin, this is, we're calling a regional stormwater management facility, yes, at Lanier and Fourth Avenue. Also, you may have heard it referred to as the Kelp property. There's two parcels along Lanier, south of the middle school ball fields, between the ball fields and Fourth Avenue. They were at point, there was a multi-family development proposed there, which was not approved for rezoning, I believe. So then DNR came to us and approached us with the idea of purchasing that property. Went out and applied for a grant and received a grant and sent the money over to us to purchase that property and then put it back for conservation. But we did. We received that money, the property purchased, all that's complete. But as part of that, part of that funding included funding for flood mitigation improvements on the property. What we're looking at is a constructed wetlands on that property, which is basically a storage facility, the drainage, the runoff from the middle school, ditch coming down the back of the bay would be routed through that hole or through that property. And it would basically serve as a storm storage facility to keep water from backing up upstream, causing flooding problems upstream. The design, the conservation aspect of it all would include sort of a passive part for local visitors to visit. Also, for an outdoor education, outdoor lab for the science classes over at Glen Middle School for study habitats and ecosystems and those kind of things. So this item is agreement again with Goodwill Mills Kaywood, $80,000. Cost of that would come from the Kelp Grant Fund, Coastal Estuarine Land Conservation Program funding. And that again is money that has already been secured by Natural Resources and has been, I'm not sure if that money has already been transferred to us, but if not, it's there and they're ready to transfer us to us. So again, no local match there and cost out of to us for this. And then this is again design and permitting for that facility.
And can you spell the funding? You say KELP, like KELP, or?
We're saying it may not be the right way to pronounce it. The acronym is CELCP.
Okay.
Coastal Estuarine Land Conservation Program, CELCP.
You had any other questions?
And then I'm just, not an item, just an aside, one of the questions I know that was asked last time was funding. How are we gonna build these projects? Once we get them designed and fitted. We just turned an application this week for, hazard mitigation grant to, for, construction of all of the work. So that gets funded and we've got that money sitting there once these are designed and fitted, ready to go. It was around $10 million. So, kind of want to try to do all of those tasks, off of that Prince Street. And everything that we've got designed and permitted to build under construction funding if it's awarded. I'm guessing we're probably here. We're still, like we said, the beginning of this takes a while. We're still a year or two from getting to construction. Timelines that would fit with their construction window of the. On Altamont. So, yeah, moving from flooding to roadways now. You probably remember we awarded a design contract to ED Engineering for the resurfacing of Altamont from R Street all the way to Glen Isles, Target and that project includes roadway resurfacing of that entire length, and signal, pedestrian traffic signal improvements at First Street, Fourth Street, Air Lane, Glen Isles, and also added the Hill Street section there. Terrible shape. So we got 5 intersections that we're improving the traffic signal and the pedestrian facility there. So as we've worked through this design, we have learned that some of the new signal facilities, specifically utility poles, need to sit outside the way. In fact, some of the existing signal poles are already outside the right of way. We can't tell that we have an easement or any on those. How that done without easement, I'm not sure. But we've looked at it several different ways, and looks like the best thing for us to do is go ahead and get those easement placed so they're covered, trying to place a pole or any kind of facility, like utility facility, on private property. We certainly don't want to get started and get in the middle of a project and try to put something out there and the owner says, no, you can't. So we figured the best thing to do now, go ahead and get all our ducks in a row here at the beginning and acquire those easements, and then we'll be able to place these facilities where they go. The easement or this acquisition process is going to work very similar to what we've just gone through over at College Park with title searches, appraisals, approvals by the commission, of course, and then negotiations with the owners, and then closing on the MC Engineering, who's doing the Altamont project, has been very involved in College Park project. They were over the easement acquisition phase 2. They're familiar with that process, how it works. They have a person to be able to do that. So this is a contract amendment with EMC for those tasks. It includes like we mentioned, the searches, the appraisals, those negotiations, and the closing documents. And this agreement or amendment also includes signal design at MLK and L Street. That's probably our worst action in town as far as signal equipment, because it was in shape before Helene, and Helene kind of made it worse. So, $20 of this is for the signal design at that section. And there's about, $110 of it is, for easement acquisition at those 5 intersections that we mentioned. The total of this contract amendment is $128,805. And this would come from the SPOS 22 way category, which is where the Altama resurfacing funds coming from. But EMC is ready to move forward on this. And as we give them the go-ahead. And this is sort of like the permitting. I think their process can about 90 days for titles to appraisals and whatnot. And then you get into negotiations with those property owners. Hopefully that would go pretty smooth and pretty quick. All along MLK, L Street, First Avenue, First Street, 4th Street, Air Lane, and Glen House. That's Community Road for both GDOT highways. So they handle the signalization. So we're basically doing every light except R Street. R Street in good condition. We're doing all lights on it.
So being that this is, you said the design phase, once they go the title searches, what's like a ballpark of start to finish? I'm gonna Terra Lane with, school being in and everything, so sometimes you can't avoid.
Start to finish this, like I said, probably 90 to maybe 100 days to get the title searches, all the back work done, the appraisals completed, get it to y'all for approval, and then it would go to them to start negotiating with the property owner. Those would hopefully pretty quickly, but it could get drawn out depending on property owner and how they want to negotiate.
Okay.
All right. One is also along sort of Altama. This is around Altama and 2nd Street. As you know, when it rains, we have pond air on Altama near 2nd Street, ponds in both lanes, and that is identified as a priority project in our storm drainage master plan. The master plan sort of lists that as a very simple fix of just tying in that inlet there on Altama to another inlet and getting that out of there. But after some of the cleaning and the maintenance work that our have done, we feel like there's probably more to the problem than just tying in that inlet with a single pipe there out Altama. We feel like there may be some restrictions or some design problems back as it flows, that all that area flows to the west towards ultimately down to T Street, goes 341. But we feel there's some restrictions there, whether that be pipes are too small, whether there's elevation differences where it can't properly, whether there's collapsed pipes, haven't found yet, or what the problem is, but we think there's restrictions in there. So we've asked one of our surveying companies, Coleman Company, to give us a price for survey in that area. The area being from Norwich on the west to MLK on the east, or out on the east, and then from First Street to Fourth Street north. Going in that block there and locating all drainage inlets, the elevation, the pipe sizes, the pipe directions, pipe conditions, elevations, so that we can tell how that water's flowing, where it's supposed to be going, is it going where it should be, and what the restrictions are. So then I think at that point, we can have a better assessment of where our problem is, and do we have a big problem? Is there more we need to look at? I think that's better than going out there and just putting a single pipe in and hoping that works.
Mr. Aberson, how long would it take for them to do a survey if we decide to execute this?
This survey is probably, it should be, is it in there? They will begin in 4 weeks from approval. And I would guess 4 to 6 more weeks. So we're looking at 8 to 10 weeks completion, and kind of knowing what we have then.
So can you explain to me, okay, we know it's Second Street, but you said go out, I guess it's a house, the layout, to go to T Street, which is, does the pipe go up, make a right on T to go out?
It sort of goes, if you look at Alabama box straight down, going towards 12 o'clock. It sort of goes toward 9 o'clock towards the west, then sort of starts to turn southwest a little, going more toward clock to get down to T. Then there's a big pipe, there's about a 60-inch pipe on T, which turns into a big box culvert that goes on 3one there at the Greenwood Center. There's a lot of that whole drainage side of Alabama comes in that way east. So a lot of this makes it down there.
Okay.
I think what our problem is somewhere in there where it collects basins with Alabama and then starts to funnel down. Got a blockage in there, or a collapsed pipe, a damaged pipe, or maybe an innovation where your outlet pipe's higher than your inlet pipe and it causes cold water, or, that may be due to a design error from WAC, or it just may be settled. Maybe something has settled and like that.
Okay.
Does that kind of answer your question?
Yes, it did, because it just, Second Street right here, just said.
It doesn't go straight west.
Right,
It
and
curves
T
its way
Street
a
is
little bit
blocks 2 blocks over.
south.
And it just sound like odd, because to me, if it's going out the west, it's straight down Second Street out to the cemetery, but that's
It goes south a little.
okay. I'm good. Just good. This is great that we're going to do this part, the survey, and at the same time, whenever the paving, we could have all this stuff improved. So, things will be on the up and up. But thank you.
One of the benefits too of that is not only the drainage improvements, but we'll have good survey data, mapping data of that entire basin. Then we can, load that to our GIS system, and so, future projects will good data that we can rely on and know where the water goes, where it's supposed to go, and where everything is.
Good. Great. Madam Chair.
The next item is the Reynolds Street cottage infrastructure construction. I think y'all are aware of that project to construct the affordable housing on the Reynolds Street School site there between Reynolds and Union, and between N and Belief. we have, or my department, engineering and public, has working to prepare or view the construction plans and get those out to bid and select a contractor on, which we've done. We reviewed the plans, we prepared the bid documents. We put that out to bid. Let me back up. This project is for utility and infrastructure construction. This is water utilities, sewer utilities, storm drainage, include roadway paving, parking area construction. This doesn't have anything to do with vertical or building construction or above construction. We're strictly pavement and below. Anyway, we those construction drawings, advertised those bid. We got 4 bids on those. You can see what's there. The bidder on that was SEC Site Work at over $2.2 million. We shot everything on their bid. As far as we can tell, everything looks good. The contract is set up so that sort of it's moving along. The to proceed should be issued within 30 days of contract exit. So if approved here, we would go ahead and execute contracts, which typically a couple of weeks. And then within 30 days, notice to proceed would be issued. And project schedule is set for 180 days. So that would get us moving and should have everything complete by, put us around the end of the year or a little before, if everything's right, weather cooperates and everything. So that's it. This item is for the utility, stormwater, water service, sewer service installation, and paving surfacing for the Reynolds Street project. SEC site work for $2.2 million. And I believe representatives right here. I don't know if y'all have any questions for these guys.
It's not them, it's just, well, they SEC. My question is, the grant was 2.5 for infrastructure and the bid came in less. What happens to the other $300,000? Or do they use it, filter into the construction, or just in case it goes over?
I'm not 100% sure. This also includes a 10% contingency. So there's about $2,000 in here that hopefully we would not use. But then say there's a difference, another $100,000 difference there. So hopefully there's a $400,000 to $500,000 that, right, will get used. I'm not sure the details of the agreement with DCA, if that would go back to DCA or if be used for some other add-on improvements in the area, maybe some additional paving around that area or some additional improvement maybe.
And I can't speak to the specifics, but I'll reach out to DA about that because if there's an opportunity to add more infrastructure, they'd be able to do so. They're very limited in how infrastructure could be spent. There were certain things we couldn't do, lighting, even though I consider street lights an important part. There were certain things we could and couldn't do. So we'll reach out to DCA about that.
Okay, thank you. How long, you may have already answered this, or maybe whenever this is executed, how long will wait for them to do the infrastructure?
The contract is set up for 180 days.
Okay.
That's 6 months. Say probably conservatively, we've got 2 months to get that 6 month start. So probably 8 to 9 months from approval here tonight or whenever it's moved.
So with this, would it also improve other, even though it's for that site, would it in other areas like extension or on off of Reynolds Street, like for the all?
The off work, the only offsite work we have included in here is, drainage improvements along N Street from the site over to, okay. We're having to upsize that drainage pipe to accommodate the additional runoff that's gonna come from this site. So there would be some potential immediate improvements there along kind of that immediate N Street corridor as we add those inlets and upsize pipe. And then we'd be resurfacing that roadway, and all four perimeter roadways around the site will be repaved. But side of that, there's nothing included yet, but maybe one of those areas that John mentioned that we could talk DCA about expanding our scope to.
Thank
Okay. Next item is a front end loader. This is for the purchase of a front end loader. Our Public Works Department uses a front end loader for different tasks around putting and moving aggregate and bulk equipment, sand on our yard, loading truck, but also using it around town for picking up illegal dumps, bulk pickups, following our trimming crews, picking up their items as well. So we keep the loader. We've had two. One of those kind of it died on us in the last year, which has been surplused and sold. But now we've got one loader right now. It's a 2007 model loader, so it's pushing years old, and we're starting to see a few little hiccups with it, starting some repairs starting to show up. So we want to go ahead and look at purchasing a loader, kind of getting ahead of this thing. We don't want for this one to go down, and then there we are stuck without a machine. So some pricing on those, and we're recommending to move forward with the John Deere machine from Dobbs Equipment Company. Dobbs is a local vendor here in town. We've got some John Deere machines, so we've got a relationship with them. They've got low service. This price that they've given us, $238,000, includes a machine plus a 7,500-hour extended warranty. So we feel like this is a good price on what we're getting here, and a good machine and a good relationship from this vendor. So just asking for approval to use funds from SPLOST 20 Public Works Equipment to purchase that.
Where exactly they located in Brunswick?
They're not in Brunswick, actually, they're in Glenn County. They're out on
Well,
Perry Lane Road.
okay, okay,
Kind of,
Oh, out
remember the
there.
old state troopers over
Yeah.
there?
okay. Regardless, Brunswick, Glenn County, the doctor home.
They're local, that's right.
And this new one should last about 20 years.
I'm sorry?
The new one will last about 20 years.
I sure hope, or more.
Do you think, if this 20-year-old one goes out, even though, I mean, how long do they have this on site or they have to order it?
Yes, ma'am. No, he just said he could get it probably in early May. So
that's-
that's pretty quick as for recently some of these things. Some of these things have tend to take 9 to 12 months. So yeah, if we can get it, we'd be really happy.
Okay,
And we would keep the one that we have now as sort of a backup or an additional machine. Sometimes, storms, it's good to have two means available and that kind of thing. So we will not sell this one until it just really gets into some heavy repairs.
good.
Okay. And then, final item I've got here is heating and air conditioner unit replacements at 3 city buildings. Obviously, we have several
Wait a minute,
buildings.
Garo,
That item was not on the agenda.
Oh,
but
okay.
I was going to ask for it to be possibly because I did realize it had not gone from the finance committee
Ah,
here.
you're right.
But
We were going to
it's
do
on the
16th.
agenda for the
Okay.
work session.
you could do, yeah, we,
Yep. Sorry about that.
um, 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 can we hear? Okay. Yeah, we would like.
Tell you
to-
about it. Okay.
And, do you have some copies by chance or something?
We can probably get you some.
Cause we in good time.
I can actually pull it up on the screen like.
So, of course, we have multiple buildings around the city. And it means a lot of air conditioning units. A lot of those buildings have multiple units in the buildings. So, and these things, it's like they go out in bunches. And that's what's going on here. We've got, them includes 3 replacements. One of these is downstairs unit at City Hall. It's the inside air handler unit, which runs the whole downstairs area of the office spaces downstairs. The 20-ton unit, which is a big unit. I guess reference your house unit's probably a 3 to 4 ton unit, maybe 3.5 ton. So kind of gives you an idea of how large this thing is. It's about 22 years old, so probably gotten our money's worth out of that thing. We've gotten a quote on it for $18,925, which includes a 3-year warranty and 1-year warranty on parts. And they expect a 10-week delivery schedule on those from the time that we give them the go-ahead on that. The second one is over at the police station, and that's what they call a mini split unit, which has an outside unit and then several or multiple indoor units, for air handlers. This is one of those indoor air handlers. This price on it includes a repair of $2,000, I believe. They come over and repair it to add some coolant to it to get it running so they could diagnose it properly. Once they did that, then determined that it needed to be replaced, or that's the recommended way to go, and that's a total of about $6,125. So total of $8,260 for the police CID building unit. And then the last one is over at Howard Coffin Park. There are several, I think there are air handlers in the attic of that building. They were on the roof until it was enclosed, but there's multiple units up there. This is the largest of the unit there, and it's a 10-ton unit as well. We just got the official on that one today. It's and I did not bring that in, but I believe that's $23,760. So that puts us at right there at $50,000 total for these units, for the 3 units. We're requesting to use $50,000 from SPLOST 22 building repairs for replacement of those units.
What's the balance, or not balance, but what was total dollar amount originally for Ms. Gory and with HVAC coming out of?
$1 million?
It's the city buildings, and I think for the first year, it was like $650,000, but I'll check before the meeting, let you know.
All right.
That you mentioned that it'll take?
The time frame on City Hall is 10 weeks to receive the materials. Howard Kaufman is probably a very similar
Mhm.
schedule. CID building would be quicker. It's a smaller, I guess, more readily available machine or unit, so probably 4 to 6 weeks, that one.
So is it the HVAC, is it going out or is it, because I'm thinking about the time frame, hot summers in Georgia with the bills.
City Hall is going out.
Okay,
CID building and Coffin are already gone.
thank you. Okay, I need it.
I have one question. Which, are those, it's coming from someone local or you have to,
Yes,
Go
ma'am.
out.
Those are coming from Green's HCC doctor.
Okay.
Which they're over here on Carter Road off the
they did
spur.
the Ritz?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We've got a service agreement with them for all of our buildings. Not all of them, but a lot of our. Yes, ma'am, but you're right. They're working on the Ritz and way that equipment to have as well.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
It's $500,000 at first.
500,000.
And we haven't, the only thing we've spent is $80,000 evidence. We haven't spent it, but we allocated 80,000 for evidence.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, this ends our work session for April the 2nd.
Day, April 2nd. Sorry about that. Appreciate it. Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025, to order. Can we please offer the invocation and the allegiance? Our invocation will be given by Pastor Green from the New Glory Christian Center. We appreciate you for being with us, Pastor. Thank you much.
Greetings, Matt. Greetings, sir. Let us pray. Father, first, we thank you for your beloved Jesus. Thank you for the blood that he shed. We thank you for mercy and your grace. Call your word, that your mercy is renewed daily. Thank you that you have given us another opportunity to make better decisions with our salvation through mercy and through your grace. Now, Father, according to your word, you said that if we ask anything in Jesus' name, that it shall be done. So we come before you right now in the name of Jesus. And to your word, you said that if man lacking wisdom asks, that you shall give it to. So we coming before you tonight asking for wisdom, not only wisdom, but godly knowledge, godly understanding, that you would be able to push forward within the city of Brunswick, to bring better ideals and to bring within this family, to bring wealth within the city, that poverty will not be the portion of the city of Brunswick. So we ask that continue to give us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to upbuild the city. We thank you now that you have already gone before us, that you have already touched the bill that was brought forth as for the tax exempt. We thank you that you have already touched. We thank that you have already moving it. We thank you that you are going to finish the work for the homestead. We now in the name of Jesus for that. Now, Father, we ask that question, everything, program that is brought forth tonight, we ask that you touch the mind, hearts of the commission. We ask that you touch the hearts and mind of the mayor, that they may decipher it, that they may push it forth if it's going to bring more to the Brunswick. We ask that continue to be who you are, the God that we know that you are, who is able to do exceedingly above more than we can ask or think. So we bring it all before you. We bring it in, we lay it at your book because we know that you can lead us in the right direction. So with that being said, with you, now let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart step within thy sight. Amen. To the flag, United States of America, which stands a nation under God, with justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor Green. Now move on to the approval of the agenda, the adoption of the April 2nd, 2025 regular meeting agenda. Any additions or subtractions?
Yes, Mayor, I have an addition and a subtraction.
Yeah.
On the 13A, like to add 13A on the consent agenda. Consider approval of HVAC replacement for 3 buildings. So add 13A under the consent agenda item.
Gotcha. First, do I hear a second? First and a second, all those in favor show by the sign of aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. Hearing the motion passes and the item is added.
All right, Mayor, I like to refer item number 17, or city attorney item. Number 17, consider approval of memorandum of understanding with the city of Brunswick and Brunswick.
Hearing the first, do I hear a second?
Second.
First and second, all those in favor show by the sign of aye. Aye. All those,
Mr. I think I completed the,
oh,
I like to move it off the agenda, defer to April 16th meeting. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I didn't do
no.
that. So,
Hearing first, do I hear a second?
Second.
Hearing the first and the second, all those in favor show by the sign of aye.
aye.
All opposed, the same. Hearing none, the motion passes and the item is heard. Any additional subtractions or addendums? Hearing none, we will open it for motion to adopt the agenda as a.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we adopt the agenda as
Amended.
amended.
Hearing first, do I hear a second?
Second.
Hearing the first and the second, all those in favor show by the sign of aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same. Hearing none, the motion passes and the agenda is adopted. We'll now move on to recognitions and presentations. And our first one up, let me make sure I have the proclamation in front of me before I do it. Proclamation presentation to Laura Johnson, CEO of Light of Hope, recognized the month of April as Autism Awareness Month. How you doing? It's good to see you. If you could just tell us a little bit about your organization and what you all do here in the city.
Want to face this way or?
Yeah, either way.
So I'm Laura Johnson. I'm the CEO at Light of Hope Learning Center. We study kids on the autism spectrum through applied behavior analysis, which is ABA. We started this journey after my youngest daughter was diagnosed and realized there were races in our community. We got into a facility about 9 miles away and had amazing results. And so we were very pleased to be able to bring these services to our community. Definitely a need. So thank you for this.
Thank you much, and thank you for all you've done for our community, bringing it to our community, especially the work. I know I have not only family members, but close friends of mine who have children in that space, and I'm thankful for all of those people who work space to ensure that we have the wraparound services and the services that are on the cutting edge to ensure we help not only children, but some adults with this kinds of things. So whereas autism spectrum disorder, or ASD, is a developmental disability affecting communication, social interaction, and behavior challenges. And whereas raising awareness about autism is crucial to promoting understanding, acceptance, and inclusion for individuals with ASD and their families. And whereas early intervention and appropriate support services can significantly improve the quality of life for individuals with ASD. Now therefore I, Kyle H. Johnson, as mayor of the city of Brunswick, along with my fellow commissioners, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2025 as Autism Awareness Month in the city of Brunswick, bringing our community to a welcoming environments for individuals with ASD in all aspects of the community. Thank you so much for your work. Ms. Johnson, we're going to grab a picture with you real quick. We will now move on to a proclamation proclaiming April 13th through the 20th, 2025 as Georgia Cities Week, the city of Brunswick. Now, I don't know where that proclamation. Oh, it's in a different color. There we go. Whereas city government is administered for and by its citizens, having the closest impact on our lives, offering services which promote the health, safety, and welfare of our community. Whereas government is dependent on a public commitment to understanding its responsibilities, facilitated by city officials tasked with fine-tuning public services. And whereas the Georgia Municipal Association and its member cities join together to educate residents and municipal government through an annual week-long event called Georgia City Week. And whereas the city of Brunswick is excited to celebrate its fourth City Week with numerous events planned featuring fun and local experiences for all. Now, therefore, I, Cosby H. Johnson, as mayor of the Brunswick, on behalf of the city commission, do hereby proclaim April 13th through the 2025 as Georgia Cities Week and encourage all residents, city officials, and employees to support the week-long celebration and coordinating activities. We thank for all you do. I don't think there's a picture to take. This is for city as a whole and all of our sins. So thank you all for showing up and continuing to show out.
Yeah.
Go ahead, City Manager.
Can I go through our activities for the week?
Yeah, that'd be great.
There are a lot of pictures already that we have for this. This will, well, we started on April 1st with the photo scavenger hunt and have information where people can go take photos and participate in our scavenger hunt. We also started early school system. We have a essay and artist contest that's in the school system, which will bring the winners back at I think at the 1st of May. We have a bike of Urbana Perry Park, and that will be Monday 14th, starting at 5 p.m. We'll meet at City Hall to do that. We have some neighborhood cleanups that are scheduled for neighborhoods, the Perry Park neighborhood and the Inez Williams Park and the Abram Park. And that'll be Tuesday, April 15th. We'll start early in the morning at 8 a.m. And do those cleanups through 4 p.m. Have scoops, the commissioners, which we hope all of our commissioners and the mayor will attend. We will have that at 5 p.m. on April 16th prior to the meeting here at Old City Hall. We have a public safety fitness challenge, which will be at Goodyear Park on Thursday, April 17th, 9 a.m. And then we have a very exciting new fish tournament. Our Public Works employees wanted to engage for this. That'll be on Saturday, April 19th. So all of those, and that starts at 7:30 a.m. at Liberty Ship Park. So all those events are planned for the week of April 18th through the 14th, 19th. And we want to invite all of our citizens to participate and join us celebrating Georgia City's Week. Thank you.
Thank you to city manager and staff for all planning that went into making this week an amazing time. A fishing event sounds, make sure some people are definitely out there. It sounds like a good time. With that, move to number 4, Coastal Outreach Soccer STEM Program, Young Professionals or YoPro Leader to provide presentation regarding flood solutions for Howard Coffin Park. How you all doing this evening? Good. Mayor Pro Tem Rose said it's good to see y'all working on spring, so we appreciate y'all.
Good evening. My name is Aaliyah. We are student athletes who are part of Coastal Outreach Soccer YoPro Leaders Program. The YoPro Leaders Program is a hands-on career development program that gives me and my teams opportunities to conduct flood research, present information to unity, and how to use computer aid, drafting and design software to design flood mitigation project at Howard Coffin Park. We use land surveying equipment to determine the park elevation level, algebra and geometry to calculate the size of our bioretention cell, based on the amount of warm water runoff on our designated areas. Some terms you need before we start. Hydric zone. Describe the degree of which area is flooded by water. Number 1, bottom zone. Lowest and wettest planting area of our bioretention cell. Number 2, middle zone. Cover the land slope and slightly drier than the bottom zone. Number outer zone. Planted area with dry conditions and sun exposure. The amount of direct sunlight the plant needs during its growing season. Plant requires 4 hours of direct sunlight during its plant's growing season. Partial. 3 to 6 hours of direct sunlight. Shade. Less than 3 hours of direct sunlight. Mature size. How wide the plant will get.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Caleb, and my role was to create a ring of Coffin Park with the bioretention cells included. The CAD software we use SketchUp. If you take a look at the screen, this is what we anticipate Coffin Park looking like with the addition of bioretention cells. As Aaliyah stated previously, our goal is to help mitigate flooding that is happening in the park. Bioretention cells not only have the ability to help mitigate flooding, but also have the ability to clean out the non-point source pollutants in the storm, plants, and soil. Non-point source pollutants can include some of the following: excess fertilizer, oil, grease, litter, or bacteria from septic systems. The layers of the bioretention cell would include native soil as the bottom layer, the rock of, next would be the sand topped with mulch. Now I will invite cell 1 to come up and take a deeper dive into their bioretention.
Good eve. Good evening. I'm Danielle, and this is my partner, Leah Morin. My group bioretention cell is located on the side of the turf field. I am here to share with you information of the Christmas. The fern is a very herbaceous perennial organism that grows to 3 feet tall and 1 to 3 feet wide. The sun exposure of this plant is direct exposure to partial exposure. Its hydric zones are between zone 2 and 3, and it is a very adaptive plant in many ways. Another plant called the switchgrass. It is also another perennial. It can grow with a range of 2 to 6 feet in height and 2 to 5 in width. The plant likes a lot of sun, so position this plant near the Christmas fern to provide partial exposure to the Christmas fern. Switchgrass hydric zone is between 2 and 3, and it is another adaptive and common plant. A fun fact: switchgrass is a Brunswick native plant. And the last plant I will be talking about is smooth oxeye. You may also call it a sunflower. Its bright yellow bloom will draw visitors to our cell, including pollinators. The smooth oxide grows between 3 to 5 feet and 1 to 3 feet wide. It can thrive in both direct and partial exposure, and its hydric zone is between zones 2 and 3. This organism will help ecosystem surrounding Coffin Park in many ways. Now I would like to introduce you to my teams who work on cell 2.
Thank you, Cell One. We are Cell Two, and we are to present two remarkable plants that we are adding to our collection, both of which are essential for enhancing our ecosystem. The first plant is purple top tridents. This species is highly edible, thriving across all three hydric zones, and is capable of flourishing in both full and partial shade, making it a versatile choice for various landscapes. Purple tridents typically reach a height of 2 to 5 feet and a width of 1 to 3 feet, provide an attractive addition to our plant diversity. The second plant we are introducing is the blue star. Similar to the purple top tridents, the eastern blue star is well suited for all three zones and can also tolerate both full and partial shade. Upon maturity, this plant reaches a height of 2 to 3 feet and a width of 2 to 3 feet, contributing beautifully to our environment. Both of these plants not only add visual appeal, but also play vital roles in supporting local wildlife and maintaining ecological balance. We're excited about the positive impact they will have on our cell diversity. Now introducing cell number 3.
Ladies, can y'all tell me your names? I don't recall y'all telling us your names.
Layla and my partner, Monty.
Monty? Okay, thank you.
So grateful to present two plants that will be our body termination attentions. These plants will play an important role and help to clean the pollutions from the rainwater in our system.
Our first plant is Domino. The plant does good in all hydric zone. It is able to handle full sun, partial sun shade, making it a versatile choice for many landscapes. The dwarf palmetto can reach a height of 8 feet and 3 to 6 feet wide. Our second plant is the cardinal flower. Unlike the dwarf palmetto, the cardinal flower is only suited for zone 1 and can only thrive when receiving full sun or partial sun exposure. This can reach a height of 2 to 5 feet and can be 1 to 2 feet. Both plants have the capability of playing a vital role in our ecosystem by supporting wild and maintenance. We are excited to see the impact this will have on the city of Brunswick. Now, for closing remarks.
Speak, please.
My name is Diasia.
Diasia.
I'm Athena.
Thank you.
As you can see, we have taken the next steps in learning the CAD software scope to our designs for the bioretention cells at Coffin Park. Overall, our experience on this project has exposed us to career pathways in ecology, engineering, landscaping, and landscape architecture, including the equipment and software used by our professional partners in these fields. Since our last presentation in December, we have seen an increase in the amount of stormwater runoff. And the designs we presented today provide important and necessary mitigation, but will not completely solve the problem. This experience has reinforced the value of proactive planning, prevents avoid challenges to our city's infrastructure with new policies. Our action will continue our monitoring around the fields, in part supported through our coastal incentive grant with Georgia Department of Natural Resources, NOAA. Going forward, we want to continue working with the city manager and the city commissioners directly. Outside of the commissioner meetings, we want to work with you at our field and in our city neighborhoods. We will organize another community engagement event like the one we did at the last Library last July, and will extend invitations to this commission when we finalize details. We would like to see Coffin Park have the ability to adapt to residents' needs, including the deepest recreational fields, facilities, and natural resources without negatively impacting Windsor Park, Dixville, and Glen Middle School. Once again, extend our gratitude for the opportunity to present our findings. We look forward to this commission to adapt and implement our bioretention cells designs at Coffin Park. Finally, we would like to acknowledge our partnering agencies. City of Brunswick, Gerald Allison, and our city leaders. UGA Marine Extension and Georgia Grant, Dr. Lee Andrews, Coastal Ecology Program, Jess Brown, Storm Program. Land Design Association, Ron Slade, Landscape Architect. Troop Surveying, Teeple Hill and Stephen Kane. Our parents and our COS families. Thank you to our funders, DNR NOAA, Wilson Center, Honeywell, and many COS supporters. Thank you.
You.
Before you all go, is there comment from the commission?
I just want to say, good job, young people. I really enjoy listening to you all and learning so much about all the world of science because I am a science teacher. That's how I started out in my career. So keep up the good work and keep striving. I'm hoping to see more engineers out of it all, or some botanists, biochemistry. Anyway, thank you.
Thank y'all so much. Hard work and more than just this group, y'all. So it's spring break, so some of them are out of town. And as you can see, the work that they put in, Coastal Outreach Soccer is more than just soccer. It's not just soccer. As you can see, they're doing, everything. So just continue to encourage them. If you see them in the community with their shirts on, just continue encouraging. So I'm proud of
Mayor, I'd like to make a comment, just say, I am very impressed. I truly, my were, I hope that you all continue this work because it's incredible. And I think will be a tremendous impact positively to our city. And hopefully we can then additional contracts or work in our neighborhood. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I can't say anything that hadn't already been said. Thank you for the work. Thank you for your grind. Thank you for spending a little bit of vacation time with us. That shows you all's commitment to getting it done. And we staked it to staying in touch with you all to see this all the way through the end. One thing I will say, and it's not a question, but maybe something you guys can dig into, is everything we do and every decision we make has a cost connected to it. And it behooves to know what cost is. How much does it cost to bring this to fruition? Because then that helps us plan either for right now or in the future about how we bring things to fruition. So I love the planning. I love the renderings to allow us to see we want those things. The breakdown of what plants we're going to use. And now next step is finding out, how much does it cost the citizens of Brunswick to that fruition and make it real. So that's a final step that we are willing to obviously take with you. We look forward to talking to you all soon. Okay. Thank you all so much. And I will bring up, I know he's not going to want to, but Coach Williams, the head of Coastal Outreach Soccer, he's trying to hide in the back, which is always because he wants the kids to be up front. But I'd love for you to come talk to us about the things that got going on through the month. You got some exceptional investment from companies around Brunswick, and I think you got some really exciting stuff through the month. So we talk about it.
Just a update on what we're going to be, some of the activities we will be doing in the month of April in the form of our youth engagement piece. We received 740 balls from a Dick's Sporting Goods facilitating a donation for us through Puma. And so we're going to use soccer balls as a point of engagement. How do we start to work with other youth with our community to be able to expose them to COS and to be able to look joining our family and developing the friendships that you see these other folks that have, and being able to give them that exposure and into pathways. So we will be putting out information on the dates that we'll be at our site. And we welcome everyone in the community to come knock on our door with us, to the family, to reach out to some children, to invite them into, whether it's this or another activity, but let's reach out to our community, especially with all the things that are occurring in our community. This is a great time for us together as a village to be able to say, what do we want our city to look like? And again, we appreciate all the support that you give us. Appreciate Dr. Kimberly and all of her hard work with the YO program, and amazing again for Ron, Jalen, and Duke with all the understanding that they have with CAD to be able to park onto our units.
Thank you, Coach. And just before you leave, I know you got sons with your coaches with you. If they could please stand up so we can give all you guys a round of applause when they see the full of who's here. Thank y'all so much, and we'll be in touch soon, okay? With that, we will now move on to our consent agenda. Our consent agenda wraps up item 5 through 13A, and they are available on the printed agenda side. If you want, we can get one to you, but they're also here in front of us. So we will now open it for a motion to pass the consent agenda as presented.
Mayor, that we approve the consent agenda for items 5 through 13A.
Here in the first, do I hear a second?
Second.
Here in the first and the second, all those in favor, sign of aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same. Hearing none, the motion passes and consent agenda items are accepted. We will now move on to public hearing for new alcohol beverage license. Deputy Brown.
Good evening.
Hold on one second, Mr. Albertson. I do want to say thank you. I know they are contractors with it. I appreciate you all coming here. I appreciate you all being at the meeting. Thank you for coming.
Good evening. We have 2 new alcohol license action or applicants here with us tonight. One is Cork and Barrel Liquors. The address of this location is 4501 Altalma Ave. The owner is.
Are we going from Barrel first, Port City
Okay.
4 first on ours?
I got that one
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
And Port City Poor, Miss Shamika Sorrells is the manager or the owner, and she will be doing business as Social Brick. Will be her business name. Her location is 1614 Newcastle Street, and is up for a specialty wine license.
Thank you. Ms. Rails, come to the front, tell a little bit about your business and what's going to be happening at So Brunswick. We what you call them Brunswick home, but also opening a business.
Social butterfly.
So butterfly. Okay, there we go. Don't get it wrong. Social butterfly, you know.
So Shamika Sorrells, I am the owner and operator of Soul BWK. The LLC is Port City Poor, doing business at Soul, and in partnership with Trisina Bow of Brown Butter Shop. We have joined our businesses in collaboration and opening up a culturally inspired gift store, which is located at 1614 Newcastle. And hoping to add wine to that retail to further the shopping experience, but also to extend our customer base to wines that are curated from women-owned wineries in particular, and for wineries that are operated by people of color. And again, to add to that, add to our shoppers' experience and add to the retail diversity here in Brunswick.
Thank you so much. And just so, well, Brown Butter Shop has been a business in Brunswick for almost a year, and she has done incredible things in our town core, continues to grow her business, amazing events. So just thankful for the work she's done, and I'm sure could not find a better partner in you. Questions, comments from the commission?
Miss, Mrs. Morel, Sorrell, okay.
Y'all, me today.
I'm sorry. No, you know I could call you Candace.
know, you know, I know you know.
Can you describe shopping experience with the environment of if you add this to your
Sure.
yes?
So my goal of my business is to do products and curate products and design products that inspire conversation with the intention of bringing people together. And drinks do that, right? And so when we think about purchasing gifts, you buy a basket, you want to also purchase a bottle of wine. We also offer currently on alcohol lines and want to continue to offer that as a experience for customers, so that we can honor people who are really curious on that sober journey or whatever that looks like. So the end again is just that conversation. So a good bit of our products are sourced from Ghana, which again is about honoring global cultures, honoring our culture and our history, but also those pieces are statement pieces, and people ask, where that come from, right? And then that ignites a conversation. And in those conversations, we realize we have more in common, and hopefully it leads to collaboration that is about improving all types of outcomes, but particularly those outcomes in our city.
Okay. Wonderful.
Additional questions or comments?
Yes, Mayor, I just wanted to say, congratulations and thank you from the onset of the starting of your business. I know that you all, previously started, but now you're, um, growing your legs even more under and your feet even more to move and take traction and gain traction to what you've already started. And so I just want to say congratulations. Thank you for choosing to continue to be a part of the conversation, not just about downtown, but all over the city of Brunswick. And just want to encourage you all to continue and keep up the good work. I think it's a much needed conversation that will take place in such a setting. And so I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. A couple quick questions. One, just for notification, 614 Newcastle Street is in the downtown business district.
That's correct.
And this, your building where you at, there's all people along that corridor who are doing alcohol sales, also not sent to neighborhood, church, school, nothing like that.
That's correct. And the next to us are fully operating bars. These are just for bottles for retail.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you so much. Any additional questions or comments? Hearing, we'll open it for a public hearing. So it it is now open for a public hearing. If anyone has anything to say on Port City Pool LC DBA Social BWK, you have your now. We will leave it for 10 seconds. My commissioner's got me timed right here. Seeing none, we will now close the public hearing portion. And we are now, barring no other questions or comments, open for motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve Port for LLC DBA Social Brunswick, 1614 Newcastle Street for wine sale.
Here in the first, do I hear a second? In the first and the second, all those in favor show by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
All those the same. Hearing none, the motion passes.
Yep.
Thank you, Ms. Rose. The Port and Barrel Liquor.
Now,
There we go.
it's Cork and Barrel Liquors. Again, the address was 45 on Altamont Avenue, and the owner, Mike Patel, is here. What I call him, I can't pronounce his name. He is here for any questions or concerns. Mike.
Wonderful. Mr. Patel, if you could come down, tell us a little bit about Your thoughts for this property?
Thank you so much to having us here today. We are in retailers for decades, and we also in fund business. City of Brunswick, I own Flip Zone, and we saw the opportunity right across this our neighborhood where we at. And we just bring some quality product, bring some revenues for City of Brunswick and some dollars, of course. And that's what we are here to asking for a license.
Wonderful. 4501 Altama Avenue used to be a bank. Well, not,
Yes.
okay. It is the bank building Altama. Anyone that is online or trying to wrap their heads around what it is. So the bank building that is right next to, I think, Enterprise, right next to Enterprise. All right. With that, any questions or comments from the commission?
I have a question.
Go ahead, because both.
As you all know, the unhoused, the unsheltered, and the homeless numbers are growing in the state of Brunswick and typically down Alabama. This is utilized in Brunswick Police Department. How are you going to, because we know approximately 36% of the people who are at population abuse alcohol, and 26% of those individuals abuse other drugs. How are you all going to mitigate against the solicitation or loitering around your property?
We've been doing that, especially at my other place like across the street. Basically monitor. We go out there, we talk to them. We not them do in public. We don't try to. I'm not saying we don't try to tell them. If they're already intoxicated, we won't even provide them any alcohol beverage, anything like that. And we try to just come to just hang around in places like this. And I mean, I can't stop it, but at least I can talk to them. I can, try to make them not to just having those manipulated around our properties.
So you own another store?
No, we own the fun zone across the street from
Oh,
it. And
so-
we have a similar problem. We have to go out there and talk to those people and kind of make them understand, hey, this public place, there's a lot of public come in and out, and this is not a place that you can such a alcohol or just sit here and just kind of interfere with consumers.
Do you sell alcohol at?
Oh, ma'am, we're not.
Not at Flip
We're not.
Zones.
But of course, they bring from somewhere else, and we always have to.
Oh,
kind of
okay,
talk
they
to
bring
them
some.
about it. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, so you said with the property being adjacent from Flip Zone that you saw an opportunity, so the liquor store only opportunity, so you didn't see like a restaurant bar?
Yes, there is an opportunity next to it because the building is building not big enough. Right beside it, once we get this going, I have a plan to ask for X building, and we did thought about like a coffee shop along that, and we are working with couple franchisees, but we haven't had any buzz yet. I have talked to several out of like Macon area. There is White Owl Coffee, Red Owl, I'm sorry, from Valda, and we have been talking to them, but we haven't get any respond back yet from them. But it's a plan to spend along with the other business.
So right now, the property as it is now, your only vision was the liquor store.
For at this moment, ma'am.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? A couple questions from me. I think I'm pretty well on this issue. And so anyone who comes up, I just try and be very on them, direct. A liquor store to me is definitely different from a convenience store, a gas station, something to that nature. Brings an entirely different kind of clientele. I was born and raised in Magnolia Park. Run those streets and go to back away to the old Walmart. That said, while it is probably legally outside of the amount of feet that you all could operate. I do think it is extremely close to both church and to our high school population, where there is a lot of individuals walking, going back and forth to school, coming out of that neighborhood and just use neighborhood, and a liquor store there does not seem like kind of activity or business that I would want to draw to a corridor that is mainly residential. Your center resident behind you, but also that close to a high school where there's a lot of 15-year-olds who look 22. And so, that's my concern, and that is a deep concern. I would, as when you all thought about this area along the same lines as Commissioner Roll, did you all take any of that into consideration? Younger population, walking population. There's a home center, as Commissioner Williams said, kind of right one block away, and that isn't a thing to kind of sell in this area. Did you guys think about that at all? Or?
Yes, have looked at it like the commissioner said. At the same time, if you're looking at the other side, like a business side, like I said, I saw the opportunities of Walmart, and there is a good clientele coming in out from Walmart. And yes, like I said, I did look at it. What you said, I did look at it high school. But at the same time, if you ever get that place open, make sure it's our job that, nobody underage walk in our facility and so forth. So yes, Mayor, we do consider that.
Perfect. I appreciate that. Yes. Any other questions or
And I was
comments?
just gonna say that it's right in front of Terra Arms as well.
Oh,
The
yeah.
apartments and,
Sorry.
yeah, and that goes in and out there with usage of drugs, and it just think add to the fire, because it's temptation.
Terra Arms.
It's
Okay.
mixed, yeah.
Perfect. Without any more comments or questions from the commission, we will know. Is there anything finishing you want to say? With that, we will open for public comment. And again, we'll rock and roll with 10 seconds. Somebody here, if you want to speak, just come on to the front. Yes, sir. Anybody who wants for or against, please come on. Yep, just come on behind them. You just line up behind them.
How you doing?
Good. How
Yeah.
about yourself?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Good. So I just want to speak to the question you had about the school and things like that. Myself, I graduated last year, Brunswick High School. I've had the pleasure of working with these guys for about 2 years since they've opened Flip Zone. And one thing that I think, and I mean, I kind of thought about as well, was just kind of around things like that. People coming from the high school, because I think it's a huge problem, even with the store on the other end, bottle time, where it's a lot of high schoolers, a lot of our friends have DUIs and different things like that I've seen as far as my in the community. But I think that these guys have done a tremendous job, just really control that, with traffic just coming in and out of Flip as well. But not only that, you have like kids lingering around. We've stayed to midnight, making sure those kids had rides home. Not only that, homeless people trying to come in, just sleep in the establishment, things like that. I can say that, these guys are not just your average, guys that's just trying to, open up a liquor store to just be there. And to kind of speak from, like, my age group, is that, no alcohol is going to be sold to, minors, or, with the school being, kind of right there as well. And I think a lot of times, we, sometimes, I mean, it's easy for us to be like, yeah, but at the same time, I mean, we all have, responsibilities. And it's not just about the business and how they're, going out, but it's us as people, kind of what we do. So I can only speak for these guys that I know to say that I don't think it's going to be an issue at all with, people, homeless people coming in or anything like that. Kids, IDing them, things like that. And so, yeah.
Appreciate it. Yeah, of course.
What's your name, young man?
Markwell Alfred.
Mark. Albert?
Markwell Alfred, yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
Mark. Okay, the key thing, and you say you about 18, 20 years old. Am I correct? Because you say you graduated last year.
Yes, ma'am.
And the thing I'm listening, you said your age group, okay? You mentioned about DUIs, and I'm pretty sure you on social media, correct? You have a tendency to looking at that Glenn crime Facebook page,
Yes, ma'am.
and you know majority of those people have what? DUIs.
Ma'am.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring you over here in our shoes. What's up? I mean, think about the DUIs. What is our role to keep our community
Safe.
safe and to also improve the quality of life of everyone the best to our ability? Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So with DUIs, okay, that could all the reason why we in the city, most of those are in the city who have those things, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so and that means people could go and reach out and vices, you know what vices mean, right? Wherever their habits, their drugs, their alcohol, any they want to. Am I correct?
Yes,
Right,
ma'am.
if they desire. So you're supposed to keep them safe. Are you going to bring the drugs and alcohol person for them to resist temptation and hope you don't answer, just ponder. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. For any questions or comments from Mr. Alford? Thank you. Please.
Hey, thank you. My name is Tad and I own G's Wine and Spirits, which is just 1.3 miles away from this proposed area. I understand all your concerns, but I'm approaching this from a numbers perspective. Me, for the city, for potential customers, for existing customers, these numbers don't really add up for what they say they're trying to do. But let me, as you allude to, the liquor industry, the liquor licenses is a unique industry that's it's highly regulated. As you know, I've been here before you because we get on these regulations. You cannot have somebody in your place under the age of 21 who isn't with a parent. If you're over the age 21, if you're 90, you have an ID, you can't be in a liquor store. We can't sell CBD products. We can't THC products. There's a long litany of lists of things that we can't do because this is a highly regulated industry. Like other industries, like a restaurant, which can sell alcohol, restaurants, Mexican restaurants, they can be pizzerias, they can be soul food, they can be hot stands, they can be anything. They have a lot of variety, a lot of potential to different. Whereas the liquor industry, my industry, we have basically 5 large distributors and a handful of small distributors. We pretty much have all the same stuff in our store. There is no uniqueness there. We're all the same stuff, same deals. We have all that opportunity. So I can't go and buy a different pizza oven to make a special pizza. I have the liquors that I have. You guys give away a lot of, well, the state has a lot of and beer license, but these spirit licenses are a little different because of that. And there's very small amount of variation. So why is that important? First of all, it's not creating any new tax revenue for you guys if you put in the store right there. It's 1.3 miles from my store, 1.8 miles from 80. That's a 3-minute car ride from my place, 5 minutes from A to Z, 12-minute ride to get from that location, that center location to mine. So you're not getting anybody. There's already, all those people already have a place to go. And as you said, just down the street to liquor store. And so they're not adding any revenue. They're not servicing, they're not creating any new revenue by creating new customers. And they're not servicing the customers that are already there, doing that adequately, being within 1.3 miles. So why is it not convenient? The store, like I said, is literally 1.3 miles. On top of this, county is putting in another liquor store. I know this isn't your purview, but another liquor store potentially at the there at Sam's Club. That's on the agenda. I'm not sure where that is with, but if you look at the numbers, and here's some other numbers for you. Georgia has a population of 11.8 million people, and there's 1,486 alcoholics. That's licensed to sell spirits. That means there's one liquor store per about 7,500. The population of Brunswick, according to Google this morning, is about 15. population of Glenn County is like 86,000. That means county should really only have about 11 and a half liquor stores in it, if you take those literally. There are 13 licensed liquor stores in the county, and then another 7 liquor stores in the city, of which, as you know, I'm one. So that's 20 liquor stores already in an area that's supposed to have about and a half. So you're oversaturating an area that, or you're adding, trying to add, or potentially add another liquor store to an area that's oversaturated. So what I would say is your oversaturated city and the county with the liquor stores is not going to increase your tax revenue. It's not going to increase new customers, and it's not going to service the other already customers who are. So it doesn't really make sense from a number standpoint, putting another highly competitive store there with a very limited amount of resources already.
Questions or comments for Mr. McNair?
Mr. McNair, how long have you, JP Spirits, been on 17? How long have you owned it?
I've owned it for 3 years, but it's been there for 38.
38
years.
years. And it has only been 2 owners, you and somebody else?
Yes.
Were you related to the first owner? Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you, Ms. McNair. Appreciate you. Please.
Mr. Mayor, I just
Yes,
have a couple of just observations, and I
Yes.
guess you could say comments as well. I've listened at each person that's come forward, those for and those against at this point. And even the consideration of the applicable laws, distances, etc. My concern as a commission and commissioner would be the harmfulness in the allowance of this establishment to the community. Points have been made considering the ages, the congestion of that area, the potential harm that would come from it. We know that we do the best we can to not have the underage selling of distilled products or liquor, etc. But there's always the high probability that these things will happen. Even the best of them have been caught in that web of deceit. And so my concern from my seat would be the harm to be brought to the community, that being such a congested area, the potential of vehicle accidents and the high propensity of the increase of vehicle accidents with the congestion of that area. So my consideration would not just be from a number standpoint, but it would be from a standpoint of the protections against the potential or propensity of harm from vehicle accidents, etc.
Thank you, Commissioners. Any other questions or comments?
I just had one last thing for Patel. Do you have another option, like be 2 or 3 business options that you thought of?
No, ma'am, not at this moment.
So only a liquor store?
That's all I had at
Okay.
that moment in.
Because I'm trying to picture visual of how big the location is.
The building is almost 100 square feet. Yeah, about 3,500 square feet total.
Interior, I mean,
Interior, yes, ma'am.
okay. 35. Decent. And were you gonna leave the,
The drive side, that's the future of developing, like I told you, for coffee shop and it.
where the,
Yeah, where all the drive-throughs.
Okay.
Yes,
So, I mean, because you have the vision, you kind of do have one. So a coffee shop,
Yeah.
can be an internet cafe, even if we were to open up a hookah lounge, something for people to do. I see it in cities where
Yeah,
I mean, so
Additional
that's all I
questions
have.
or comments from the commission? Hearing none, I think there's a young behind you. If you had anything to say, I'm happy to take it if you got something.
I know how they lips on. They don't allow parents to come in there speaking drunk. They kids have their own children. I just think they'll run a establishment dumb. Not, to me, that's better than a smoking.
We
I
appreciate
couldn't hardly hear the comments.
Miss Mason.
She just mentioned that a liquor store would make more sense than the lounge that I recommended. That's what she said.
Okay, now repeat that again.
I think she said it was the individuals who come before them. She's known them at one zone. She knows that they will run a good establishment, and then maybe instead of a hookah lounge, thinks the liquor store would be a abuse. So that was a comment. You got that, Commissioner? Okay.
I did. Thank you.
No problem.
And one last thing, out of the four of you, do any of you live in the city limits? In the city limits? You live in the city limits? You stay in Magnolia? Okay, when you drive around the city of Brunswick, or downtown, everywhere, do you see like a lot of liquor stores, like kind of like all over, and they're kind of just jumping at you, or convenience stores that sell beer and wine? It'll outnumber what it looks like in the neighborhoods, I'm sure, where they live at. You come up. So you say you live in Magnolia Park, right?
Yes, ma'am.
When you drive around the city of Brunswick, city limits, as far as businesses, do you frequently see a lot of businesses that sell beer, wine, and liquor?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Thank you. Is there any other questions? We will. Oh, yes. Oh, what's your name? Yeah. Hearing no other comments or questions, we will open it for a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we deny the retail package of beer, wine, and distilled spirits, pork, and Baker's 4501 Altam Avenue.
Hearing the first, do I hear second?
Second.
The first and the second, all those in favor show by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same. Hearing none, the motion passes. Thank you all. You could have a conversation with our city clerk, and she will get you in touch with our city attorney to talk about anything that can come after. So thank you. I appreciate it. With that, we will move on to items to consider for approval. Number 15, consider approval of March 1925 regular scheduled meeting minutes. If there are no addendums or subtractions, we will open it for a motion to accept.
Mr. Mayor, I move approve of March the 19th, 2025 regular scheduled meeting minutes.
Hearing the first, do I hear a second?
Second.
Hearing the first and the second, all those in favor, the usual sign of aye. All those opposed, the same. Hearing none, the motion passes. We'll now move to city attorney's items. Number 16, consider approval of claim deed between the city of Brunswick and Winford O. Rice regarding 3314 Cleburne Street. Do we have city attorney? Okay. No problem.
Yeah, he shared that basically it's the same situation like we have previously dealt with. Tax deed, they paid off the deed, and now just need the city to release.
Wonderful. And we understand our attorney is with the family, so we want to make sure this happens. We know it is quite important for a deadline. Again, for the commission, we've done several quit claim deeds, and so I want to just repeat address. and the person, so we know exactly what we're doing. So consider approval of quit claim deed between the city of Brunswick and Winford O. Rice regarding 3314 Cleburne Street. Are there any comments or questions? If we do not have any, we will open for a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the quick claim deed between the city of Brunswick and Winfred Rice regarding 3314 Cleburne Street.
Hearing a first to a second.
Second.
Hearing a first and a second, all those in favor show by the usual sign of aye. Aye. All those the same. Hearing none, the motion passes. We do not have anything for executives. We'll open it for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Here's a second.
Second.
Hearing a first and a second, all those in favor show by the sign of aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same. Hearing none, are adjourned. Thank you all.
It's 7:15.
Good night.